NBA writer for ESPN, Mark J. Spears. You can follow him on Twitter at Mark J. Spears. Had a story is pinned on his Twitter about ChristianWood and why he didn't sign back with the Detroit Pistons. Let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate the love, support. And, you hear things about ChristianWood. There's some things I didn't know in this article on the Undefeated, but one of the things I kind of want to talk about before I get into it a couple weeks ago is that basically ChristianWood found about gold diggers the hard way. When he, at draft night, when he went undrafted out of UNLV, his girlfriend basically had him take her to the airport, and she never talked to him again. I'm pretty sure she's trying to bark up that tree again, but, he had a hard road to the NBA, and a stick in the NBA. All right. So I think it's fitting for his hard road to the NBA that, his first real lesson about the NBA was gold diggers. And I remember it was a story about Gilbert Arenas, how he would try to teach Nick Young not to fall in love with the groupies, and he would basically have sex with them to show Nick Young that, they didn't really love him. And ChristianWood learned that lesson before he even stepped into the league. So, and that's a lesson that a lot of people can learn, because, a lot of people out here, people listening, you're going to be able to come up on some quick money. Is it gambling, sports gambling coming to Michigan? Is it going to be lotteries, or are you going to, invest into the stock business? And that's how people continue to stay wealthy and get wealthy. Or you might invest into some real estate. But a lot of you guys are going to come up on some money real quick and real fast. And what you got to understand is you got to love them, and then you got to drop them. Them same people, that same women wouldn't even give you the second look until you start getting money. And so you start, basically profiting with money. So that's a lesson that we can all learn, because women is only going to be there. Most women is only going to be there when you up. When you down, they're going to find a way to get up out of there. So that's just a quick lesson that, ChristianWood learned. And that'll be his first real NBA lesson before he even made it to the NBA. But basically, ChristianWood didn't have a good reputation in the NBA. Malik Rose, who now worked for the NBA, basically brought him to Detroit and said that you would hear some things that he was immature, he was a knucklehead. He would miss workout sessions. He was young and dumb. For a guy that, didn't get drafted, you think he'd be motivated to really go out there and prove something, but he was just missing workouts. That's how he ended up in Detroit off waivers. The immaturity, he said it wasn't nothing malicious. It was always just knucklehead stuff. And Malik Rose gave him the benefit of the doubt, because he was assistant general manager. When they wasn't going to give him the general manager, he left, rightfully so. He just said he remember he was 21, 22 years old when he done knucklehead shit. And that's why he decided to give him a chance. Without Malik Rose, he don't get this contract. And I'm not saying he owed Malik Rose nothing financially. Maybe a card and a thank you. But without Malik Rose, remembering when he was young and dumb. See, what you got to understand is most people who don't understand black people that's not black, they ain't about giving us opportunities. Okay? Malik Rose used his power of his black person. Like, let's bring this kid in. He ended up beating out Joe Johnson, who a lot of people thought was going to make it because he had a fantastic Big Three. He was MVP, shout out to Cube in the Big Three. But it didn't happen that way. It didn't happen that way. And, he was just young and dumb. And just looking at it, what if Malik Rose wasn't in that position? What if he was a white guy? What if it was like the NFL where they had minimum, black front office people? Maybe you don't get this shot. He believed in ChristianWood. He said, you know what? I had to think back when I was young. All right. Most white people that's non-black, they don't do the dumb shit or the shit that we do. You know what I'm saying? They can't really recollect or go back in the past and say, oh, I did. A lot of people, they more uniform than us. They come from more two-parent households. They come from more structure. They come from money. And even if they do make mistakes, they're not going to kind of equate that to a black character. They're not. Or a black man or a black woman. Because we come from two different backgrounds. Now, if they was basically to do swap with us, they would understand where we come from. So having a black guy in a position of power for the Pistons was a huge plus for ChristianWood, because guess what? He wouldn't have got that second chance. He wouldn't have got it. He wouldn't have got a first chance. He wouldn't have got another chance coming off New Orleans. And I think when he get cut from New Orleans was basically the light bulb came on for him. It was like, yeah, okay, now I get it. I can't be bullshitting. I got to be serious. And, look like even though he got his money, he having a fantastic season. That's what you want to see. He having a fantastic season. And sometimes you got to bump your head a couple times, but in a lot of times in the NFL or in, white America, business America, you don't get a second chance. Some people are lucky to get a second. Sometimes you don't get one. And he got serious, and, Malik Rose gave him life. And he took advantage of it. And then, basically it wasn't Dwayne Casey. Basically, he loved Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey would always tell him he's talented. We just got to find him an opportunity behind Blake and Andre Drummond. And ultimately, Blake and Andre Drummond, them not trading them 2 years ago, however long ago it was ago, the trade deadline, it kind of helped them miss out on young talent. And Dwayne Casey said he loved him on both ends. He was talented. He just had to find him an opportunity. So him and Dwayne Casey relationship sounded like it was Gucci. It was gravy. And Casey was just trying to find him an opportunity. Ultimately, they wasn't able to unload Blake. And that Blake trade kind of really set the organization back. The Reggie deal trade set us back. A lot of bad moves that we could have avoided set this team back. Brandon Jennings getting injured set us back. That made us sign Reggie Jackson. Us not taking Devon Mitchell over Luke Kennard set us. I mean, we can go. Just how much this franchise messed up. Just think about it. They would have traded Blake and Dre, and they already got some picks. We were like, okay, cool. Yeah. This franchise could be in a different situation. Had they kept Middleton and Dinwiddie, had they drafted Devin Booker, we could have been really up. But then again, those things don't happen, and Blake and Dre staying there really, blocked him last season. And when they removed they removed Andre Drummond, and then Blake Griffin got injured, then he really just did his thing, and there wasn't no reason for them to bring him back. The head coach believed in him. But here goes the kicker right here, which I've been waiting for. The Detroit Pistons did want to pay him more than $8 million a year. But then they turned around and paid Mason Plumlee just over $8 million a year for the next 3 years. That was stupid. And then you turn around and get Jeremy Grant $20 million. People say, well, Jeremy Grant putting up numbers. He only putting up numbers because he getting opportunities because ain't no Blake Griffin there. Ain't no Andre Drummond there. The point guard, Killian Hayes, he ain't really asserting himself yet. Especially with Blake taking opportunities away from him and ball handling opportunities. So you don't really have nobody. You got Sadiq Bey coming up, but he ain't really asserted himself. Isaiah Stewart, he ain't really. So really, when there's no offensive alpha male out there on the floor with you, of course he gonna spread his wings and fly. But I'm surprised how good he's shooting. But at the end of the day, Christian Wood got $13 million over 3 years down there, whatever it equated out to be. And I would have gave him $13 million before I would have gave Jeremy Grant $20 million. You better come in and make some changes in the win-loss column. He ain't doing that. He's an amazing talent, and people be lying. Oh, I'd rather have Jeremy Grant to Christian Wood. I'd rather have Christian Wood because guess what? Blake Griffin getting older. He probably going to be gone next year in the final year of his deal. Mason Plumlee, he not a starting center. They should have really started to build around Christian Wood and Isaiah Stewart. But then again, they just didn't feel like he was worth over $8 million. And my thing was, it didn't really matter. Being Jeremy Grant here was just stupid. He not going to change life here in the win-loss column. You should have brought Christian Wood here. And I guess the immaturity and not being punctual probably carried over to the Pistons, and they probably just think he was worth it. But good for him. He fell to the Rockets. And with him going to the Rockets, I think that was a better fit for him. A team that's in the playoff eye. I think James Harden, you kind of see the trade. I want to be traded kind of go down. And really, Christian Wood was putting the ball back up, he rebounding, really playing around the bucket. He really ain't sitting at the 3-point line kind of the games that I've seen him in. He's sitting around that 3-point line. He ain't sitting there. He playing in the middle. And really, the Rockets like a dangerous team out west. John Wall hit some big shots in his career. They looking like a real good team. It's looking like they really shouldn't have got rid of some of the guys they got. I think they might be a dangerous team, in this NBA climate. But, that's why Christian Wood didn't come back. They didn't want to pay him over $8 million. Hey, it is what it is. So, wish him the best of the luck. I just didn't like some of the trolling he was doing with the fans. But wish him the best of the luck. Hopefully, he win. You know what I'm saying? But hey, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsor, video request. All my social media links in the description. Fast way to reach me is Twitter, then Facebook, then Instagram. If you ever got a question, you ever got a video request, you just want to chop it up, or you want to advertise your business on the channel, links there. Want to make a donation, Cash App, CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description as well too. Appreciate the love, support. Best way to donate, share the video, and comment one time for the one time we go.